Welcome, welcome to Elevate Your Game Season 2. My name is Mrs. Denise Parker. I'm super excited to be here today. Thank you so much for joining us. Today's special announcement and guests that are joining us today are fabulous. We're going to be talking about all things about internships and careers opportunity and also how to grow your money. If you're watching today, you're going to see a lot of different things that we're going to be adding to the mix for this conversation. It's going to be a real talk that we need to have that most people just don't have about money. And I'm super excited. But before we get started, we're going to make some announcements. Yeehaw! As you can see, it is our fabulous Black History Month. So we want to just kind of shout it out with our Black College Expo. We're super excited about that because we're in Miami, you guys. We're in Miami. We are in the place where all things are happening for the Afro Latinos and also the Blacks and also the people who are interested in going to college. Miami is our new market. We're super excited about it. We're here at NCRF is hosting a free Black College Expo at the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel at the Miami Airport and Convention Center. You can register at www.thecollegeexpo.org. Here you can also meet college recruiters, attend some of our signature seminars, how to find money for college, 411 for student athletes, why attend an HBCU, and we have our special ambassador, celebrity ambassador, Miss Hip Hop Artist Extraordinaire Yo-Yo. She's going to be teaching us how to get A's in English and writing. And then I will be hosting Booming Careers and How to Start a Business. I am super excited about that. Welcome to Miami, Benito a Miami. Woo woo. Yes. And so since it is Black History Month, we want to have a nice fun fact. We love this Afro-Cuban, sensational, fabulous person, Celia Cruz, 3 times Grammy Award winner, known for her salsa merengue music with 7 decades of accomplishments. Her image will be featured on the U.S. Currency Quarter. This is a first for the American Women Quarter program. It's featuring an Afro-Cuban woman receiving a notable honor to memorialize her American contributions. Other past notable figures on the quarter were aviator Bessie Coleman, poet Maya Angelou, and astronaut Dr. Sally Ride. Congratulations for the late and the great Miss Celia Cruz. Also, we want to acknowledge those who are trailblazing in the efforts of money and finance. Miss Lauren Simmons was only 22 years old in 2017 when she became not only the youngest female equity trader in the New York Stock Exchange, she was also the second African-American female trader and also second African-American trader, and Joseph L. Searles III became the first. We have some wonderful announcements. Golden State Warriors internship program is due February 15th. If you're located in the Bay Area of California, San Francisco, with limited spots in Santa Cruz and Los Angeles, for rising juniors or seniors enrolled in an accredited college or university, we highly recommend that you apply for this internship. You're going to learn the business side of working for the Golden State Warriors. They are a wonderful, exceptional franchise, and they are also some of our sponsors for our Bay Area Black College Expo, which we just left. It was fabulous. Thousands of people got resources and opportunities, and this is an opportunity for you. It's due February 15th. You scan the QR code to apply. And I want to see if I can feature, we're going to try, just bear with me. We're going to try to, I'm going to share my screen for a second. And I just want to show you the website of the internship opportunity. As you can see, Golden State Warriors Summer Opportunity. There are some wonderful clickable links here where you can watch content on past sessions of what the internship may entail in various departments: public affairs, marketing, content and programming, communications, to name a few, tickets and sales and services. Super excited for you, for those who want to apply. Thank you. Now we're going back to our announcements. We have an HBCU fellowship with the NBA to extend more opportunities within sports and entertainment. You can learn the business of basketball. Locations vary in all the states that those basketball teams are in. There's opportunities for you. Super excited for you. You must be currently enrolled at an HBCU or have completed a degree at an HBCU and now attending another institution. I want to just show you just a quick video, if I possibly can, about some of our past fellowship recipients who can kind of share more about their opportunity. Hopefully there's no lag.
First class of the HBCU fellow. Shout out to the NBA. Let's go.
As African American leaders, we're mandated to soar to new horizons and to create destiny for others. Okay?
Something that makes an HBCU special is it's a different environment. The diversity is something that can't be matched. The experience, the culture, the different types of people I meet from different walks of life. I never knew how beautiful Black could be until I attended the HBCU.
I think these programs are important to HBCUs because it gives them a chance to see what their future could look like.
When you say a panel full of people that have done what these young men and young women want to do, at some point, this program has to recycle and have those kids on the same panel speaking about their experiences.
I would say my biggest takeaway, point Dr. Carter made, is minority owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. And one thing that she said was to jump into this opportunity and take advantage of it. To the next class.
All right. Thank you. We tried. But anyway, there's a great link on the website, so I'm going to share that with you again. So I just gave you a little tidbit of what that fellowship would look like. Please click on that QR code so you can find out more information about that. And we're going on to our next. There's also a Warner Brothers Discovery Summer Internship Program opportunity. It's due March 10th. Enrollment is for any of the programs for participation. And some of these amazing opportunities are with working with not just Warner Media itself, like the music behind Warner Media, but there's also other brands such as CNN, HBO, Cartoon Network, DC Comics, and the Bleacher Report are just to name a few of some of the amazing brands that are under the Warner Media mantra. So I just want to quickly try to share this with you guys to see if we can see this video, maybe a little tidbit. Okay, just a little tease for you guys.
I work for a team called Commercial Offers, which handles the backend systems for APIs in products, price planning campaigns. An API is essentially what different applications use to communicate with each other. My main responsibility during this internship is testing.
And that is what we can show. So now that all that being said, we are ready to get started with some more fun things. I have a super exciting construction career job fair. It's starting February 8th at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Studio D Contract Finishing in person. The address is here in person. If you're interested in opportunities within construction, this is an opportunity to submit your resume, meet recruiters. It's located in Los Angeles. So this is an in-person event. It is not our event, but it is something that is associated with us as far as some of our recruiters who are going to be there sharing opportunities throughout the great city of Los Angeles about opportunities about getting your hands dirty. I love it. Why not? And then finally, we have our SoCal Gas Scholarship Program. It's due March 15th with renewable for four-year college university students. Community college students are encouraged to reapply, must live in SoCal Gas territory. Majors are STEM, finance, accounting, and so much more. But we have a special guest here today that I want you to meet. She's amazing. She's amazing. Come and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and this opportunity.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here with everyone to share some information. So as Denise said, I am Brittany Viramontes, Community Relations Manager at SoCal Gas. And in my role, I actually manage our STEM education portfolio. So we work very closely with NCRF on their Think STEAM program. But I'm here today to talk about our scholarship program, which I also manage for our department. And so it's really exciting. The program just launched on Monday this week, and it's open through March 15th. And so we have two programs essentially. The first program is for if you're attending a four-year university program, and those scholarships are in the amount of $5,000. And they are renewable. So as long as you maintain a good GPA and you're still studying in the eligible majors, you can renew that scholarship to receive a total of $20,000 over your 4 years of study. And so that's the first program. The second program we have is if you're attending a community college or a trade school. So you have to be studying either STEM, business, finance, accounting, or any trades such as plumbing, welding, HVAC. And those awards are $1,000. And although they're not renewable, you are eligible to reapply if you're still eligible for the next year. So I'm here to just share a little bit of information. We're really excited about the program. You know, we've given over $3 million since the program has started in 2001. And this year we're looking to give out up to $315,000 to students within our service territory. So if you're not familiar with SoCal Gas, our service territory is very large. We go from the Mexican border all the way up to Needles and parts of Fresno. And so with the exception of San Diego, because that's our sister utility, SDG&E, but we do service 12 counties. And so the website that Denise shared, you can get more information about how to apply, and if you're eligible for the program, and then those awards that I spoke about also. And then I did want to, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'm going to share the QR code again, just in case you guys want to click on the clickable QR code, and so you can look at it personally. But go ahead, Brittany.
Yeah, and then so aside from the program, we do also have internships available for juniors and seniors in college. And so I wanted to highlight one particular job that's posted right now that we have. So if you were to go to socalgas.com/careers, you can actually select internships. And so here I have the Accounting, Finance, and Business Associate Internship Program. And so for all of our internships, they are paid. And they're full-time, part-time. We do work with your school schedule. We know that you're typically a full-time student, so we can accommodate your school schedule. And so this program particularly is very structured. You get assigned a mentor, and there's a lot of support and resources throughout the program. And so it looks like this job rec actually closes on the 12th, I think it is. So if you're interested, take a look. It has even the salary that you would be eligible for and more information about the program. So feel free to check it out.
Thank you. And the key thing, you guys, is that they're paid internships. We know you guys need to survive as young people. We know that you guys, if you're living in Southern California, you know how much the cost of living is. So we want to make sure that you guys can get to work and also have just a wonderful life while you're building your career. And remember, this is not a job. It's a career pathway. So it takes time to build those networking relationships and also to get all those skills that you're looking to build on your resume and also apply to your career path. Thank you, Brittany. Any further final words to our audience?
No, I will go ahead and put my email in the chat, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions regarding the scholarship program or internships. Feel free to reach out to me. I am a resource. Thank you for having me, Denise.
Oh, anytime. So yes, go ahead and add that to the comments in the chat, and then everybody can get a hold of you. She's done wonderful work. She's connecting us to amazing opportunities. SoCalGas is a wonderful energy partner, and energy is a great field to grow your career in. Again, thank you, Brittany, for joining us, and I'll see you soon.
Yes, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so we are getting to it. So you see all these opportunities we have here. NCRF, National College Resources Foundation, we've been doing this for 20 plus years. We're traveled all over this nation, and virtually we're reaching people globally. And now we're going to talk about our subject. Elevating Your Game presents Real Talk. What is it? Get and keep your money. Ooh. You know what? I think this is a subject we all need to constantly have. We constantly need to have this conversation. So I want to bring on our special guest. Let him introduce himself. You ready? Thumbs up. He's here, Mr. Jasper Smith. Boom, boom, boom. Welcome. You're muted. I think you're muted.
Sure is. Sure. Not
Welcome.
anymore.
Welcome to the shenanigans.
It's been a fun night so far. So
wait a minute. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Why are you here? Why are you joining us today?
Yeah, I'm here because I met you less than a week ago at the Black College Expo in Oakland. Yeah. We had a good conversation on the panel, and I literally told you I'm the money man. Like, I want to talk about money all day, every day. And I think just more people need to hear a message around the right things to do, because we all have so much information that's just we're being bombarded with every single day. And it's like, how do you make sense of all of this stuff that's being thrown at us? And it's hard, honestly. And so whether, you're an adult, you're a child, or something, an up and comer, a young professional, they're just at certain parts in your life, you gotta have that money talk, and it's gotta be a real one.
Yes. So what is it about money that intimidates people, do you think?
I think it's people's experiences. I think that's what it stems from, like where you were raised, how your family dealt with money, whether it was in your household or within your community. It could have been, stuff you just saw on TV. I mean, media influences how some of us interact with money. And so depending on the source, we've internalized those external factors. So we begin to say, well, I don't understand investing because nobody in my family talks about investing.
Right.
I don't save money because I don't know anybody that saves money. We just spend. So it's a combination of a lot of things, and it just becomes at some point overwhelming. And for some of us, we stick our head in the sand and keep going through life as if nothing is wrong. Others kind of make the choice where let's go get some help. And it's okay to be vulnerable and tell some people that you need help, because there are professionals out there. I'm just one of thousands of financial experts who are always looking to help. But it's like, what do you need help with? And that's very hard for a lot of people to define. Well, I don't know where to start. I'm like, okay, that's why Mr. Bill Wealth is here. Maybe I can help you get started and get you on the way. I don't work magic, niece. I don't work magic. I'm just good at listening to people's struggles, issues, problems financially, and helping them to see, well, here's some options you might want to consider.
I like that you're not, trying to run game on people, and that you're trying to have a real conversation with them about money. Why do they call you Mr. #Build Wealth?
So Mr. Bill Wealth came out of an effort. I was just posting articles. I was started on Twitter years ago. Nobody was using the Bill Wealth hashtag. And I was just like, I hope people just read, because if you just read enough stuff, you'll learn like the stuff that I'm trying to share with you, but maybe I'm not the right messenger. And I was just tweeting, and I mean articles all across the financial planning spectrum, and I just kept putting hashtag build wealth. And I was like, well, if I'm using this hashtag, I need another name. I can't just use my government name. I love my name, but people gravitate towards personalities, and I was like, you know what? My personality is gonna be Mr. Bill Wealth, and it kind of stuck. I started using it. I started jokingly doing it in emails just to see if people would say, "Hey, Mr. Bill Wealth," and I was like, "Oh, it's working." So,
that's right. Whatever works, right? To get people to in the door so you can have the conversation. Sometimes we need a little flash before we get the cash, right? Flash before we get the cash. So let's talk about it. There's so many aspects of money that we can focus on. We call the term financial literacy. And I remember us having a private conversation that it's kind of getting outdated, that term. How can we make it more easier and accessible when we're having these deeper conversations? Money should grow with you. As you're getting older and wiser, you should be doing better and more enriching things to improve your life, whether you're saving more, spending less, investing more, and also concentrating on the things that's going to actually give you more assets than debt. What are some of the things that you would tell your clients, or what I want to know more of is what are some of the things you see your clients where they having pitfalls and how they can turn that around? Let's start with your young clients, and the youngest client that you may possibly have.
The youngest one, she's 21, fresh out of college, and was like, I need to learn how to not do what my parents did. And that's how we met. She said, just tell me, like, give me the blueprint, give me the checklist. And I kind of smiled inside, and even after our meeting, because I was like, you get it. Like, you've watched your family struggle, and it scares you. And so her internalizing that fear was like, I got to tell somebody now that I'm 21, because I don't want to be my parents' age, and their parents were in their 50s. And she's like, they still aren't comfortable. And it was a fear kind of pushed her to do some things. But I said, look, it's not as hard as the world makes it out to be. And she had already been doing some things on YouTube, had been on TikTok, watching people. So she knew kind of some fundamental terms, but didn't really know if those products or solutions were suitable for her. And that's where our conversation went. I was like, you don't need this, you should do that. That was good advice. And then I said, the problem with all this information is we struggle with executing. So I think the reason the financial literacy thing bothers me to some degree is because there's so much information that now it's actually clouding our judgment. And there's still some who just don't know. And there's still that segment of people. But for a lot of us, we know something, but we don't know how it applies to us. That's the difference, where I'm not trying to be the scam artist with the videos popping. It's like, is that video helping you move forward? Are you making progress? And for this young lady, I said, we're going to do like one thing. And I got her to make the commitment. We did it. And I said, if you can follow these steps, financially, life going to be easy for you. You're going to have other trouble, but it won't be with money, because you're starting such at an early time in your life where I've got time to mold you and shape you. So that way you are this financial rock star. And I always call my client, like, I want to make you a financial rock star. I don't know it all, but I know a lot more than the average person, because I've been doing this for 15 years. So,
and it's about tailor making. Like you said, there's so much clouded information. It's great to research and have use those resources to kind of learn more and learn the terms. But the information can be diluted when you try to apply it to you and you're not there yet, or it's just really not for you because you don't have enough to start where you think you should start. But my first thing is, we all wear kicks, we all play these video games, we all support our favorite brands. Why not look on to the investment side to not just give the companies your money, but why can't you have the companies be paying you for all the things that you provide, you use, and you sport as swag. My son, he has an interest in Roblox, and he loves that. And I was getting charges after charges after charges. And I remember telling you this, Jasper, about those charges were showing up in my digital card, which means you physically couldn't see my card, but because it was behind the scenes in the cyber world, I was being charged for every time my son was on Roblox doing an Roblox activity, and he can't see the money being spent. He can't see how it's being utilized. He goes with me to the grocery store. We go to the grocery store. We purchase something from the grocery store. He sees me pull out my credit card and make a transaction, or cash and make a transaction, so he can physically see the money going from my wallet to the vendor. But there's a disconnect when we are using digital money, when you're playing stuff on Amazon, reading stuff, clicking here and there, and all of a sudden your card that's hidden behind the cloud is actually getting snaked money here and there. And all of a sudden you're looking back like, where did that 99 cents to that $99 charge come from? And it's your 10-year-old, or it's you are doing things that you don't even see it. I found that eye-opening, dangerous.
Yes.
When our kids can't see the money anymore because it's so digital, now they are going to be targeted, probably be in debt faster, and also not know the value of money because they can't see it go from their hand, from the wallet, and so on and so forth. So I told my son, I said, we're going to invest in Roblox and look at some stock, as opposed to just putting all your money onto the Roblox platform.
Yeah. And Denise, you're saying a word, because there's people who've written books around investing in what you know and investing in what you support. So we're all consumers, but like you just said, we could be consumers and be owners. And I think that's the piece that a lot of people miss, where I tell my story, like, I didn't shop at Target. Like I kind of just it's not my favorite store, but my wife loves it. And so for her birthday last year, I said, look, if I got to keep going to this store, I at least want to own some of this. So then we're supporting our store, or one of us has some stock till we own it. And so for her birthday, I bought her Target stock. I was like, I'm not, forget the dinner. This is going to be the piece that, goes a lot further than that good meal. Because every time we go to our store, and I started using that language when I tell people, if you own a fraction of a share or a full share, you are an owner. And that is critical for our youth. When you see a little kid that says, I own something, that does something to their psyche. So my really good friend, so the Target is always a good story. One of my really good friends loves Nike. Like, kids got more shoes than I do. And I was like, does he own some stock? So as he gets older, he gonna be the freshest kid in school.
Uh-oh, did you get frozen? Uh-oh, he's frozen, everybody. Just be patient. He's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back. Jump back in.
Yep.
It happens. Technology. You saw how my videos were freezing. Were my videos freezing? They were freezing just a little bit. Oh my God.
So,
but go ahead.
I was explaining a story about my friend's kid. And I said, as he grows, they're always going to question why he's always wearing Nike apparel, not knowing he's an owner. So when he sees his friends, he can say, I appreciate you for supporting my company. Imagine a little kid saying that from like 5 up until they're full grown adults, where they just have said, thank you for supporting my business. You're an owner.
Yeah. We can actually start so young as, if you're a parent and you want to start the levels of investment, opening up a brokerage account is free. Correct?
There are platforms. Yep.
Yes.
Depending on the platform.
Brokerage accounts, TD Ameritrade, StockPal. There's tons of them that are out there, but you want to find a reputable one that is backed by financial institutions who trust their brand. Just in case, these ones that are popping up and now you see them in the news filing for bankruptcy and X, Y, and Z, on the, you guys paying attention. but also looking at the trends. I love watching CNBC, which is the business news network, Bloomberg. I just like watching it or listening to it so that even if I don't understand, I'm just getting familiar with some of the companies that are out there that are doing great things. And it's not just about investing in the stock market, investing in quote unquote the new currency, which is crypto. Yep. It's not just about that. It's about understanding there's ways to build wealth. There's ways to earn money that can become what you work for, going to your 9 to 5, paying your dues out there in the public, and then what you are making passively, where you just make a simple investment and it can bring back dividends or returns on your investment. Yeah. How important is it to understand where to start? What are some of the key things that you tell people to, besides, reading, listening to somebody like yourself, doing research on YouTube University? What can you do to just start that plan?
Yeah, it starts with you. And by you meaning you need to write down 2, maybe 3 things you want to work on financially. I don't care what those 2 or 3 things are, because it's for you. Like planning that I do it's personal. So yes, there are a number of ways to build wealth and get rich and all that. But what is it that you're interested in? And you should write 2 or 3 things down and then say, okay, here's what I want to focus on in terms of, next steps. Okay. Now I can go to the internet, or do I know somebody personally who's doing the thing that I just wrote down? So everybody who's like, oh, I love real estate. I'm like, can you go hang out with a realtor for a day? Can you call a broker? Just find somebody. If you want to run a business, can you go visit the business owner? Because depending on what you're looking for, the person will always invite you in. It's an informational interview. You literally are trying to learn more about this area because you're like, I might want to invest, but I need to really see and feel what it's like to be, a business owner. And especially if you're a business owner with a brick and mortar. I mean, everybody's online now, but if you have a physical location, roll up, up in them, like, who's the owner and how you have survived.
Right.
So you got to start with a couple of things in mind. And then the next step is, okay, I need to do a little bit of research on my own. And then in addition to researching on my own, reach out to an expert in that area. So now you've got your research that you've done that you're comfortable with. Now you've got some real life people, not the people on the internet just telling you what to do, like having an actual conversation. From there, can you afford to get in? Like if you got a little bit of money, you can do something. So I think understanding, I'll be honest, a lot of my clients don't want to do a budget, but we at least need to know what inflows and outflows you have. So if you don't want to commit to doing a budget, and there are a lot of budgeting strategies out there, at least know what we're playing with. Yeah. Don't come to me and say, I want to invest. And then I'm going to say, well, how much? I don't really know. I think we need to take a step back. We need to have a money management conversation, because we can't, well,
that's good. No, I like that. Let's pause right there for a second, because you just said it, like, just to know your why, what you want, what your goals are. That's step 1, writing that down. Even if it's long-term and you don't know the short-term steps you need to take to get to that long-term goal, you still need to write down that journey, and then talking to somebody who's already doing certain things that you are looking to be your goals and your mission, and seeing how they did their steps and see how that applies to you. That's very key. And then taking a step back even further, and then asking the questions that are necessary to actually put it into play. Like, what can you do to put it into play? What do you have right now in your pockets? What do you have right now as resources? What do you have right now that you can actually earn to invest or to start that process? If your goal is to have a house in Southern California, that is a big goal. It is a very hard undertaking for a lot of people because of the market and how it is very expensive to live out here. But what if your goal is to start by getting more money coming into your pocket? Like, picking up a second job. So every time that second job, comes into play, that money is set aside for whatever it is that big long-term goal is. Maybe it's not California you start investing in. Maybe it's in another state, another city that has more opportunities for you, that you can build your wealth and then purchase something and then eventually come back and invest something small and continue on, and until you get enough money in the play to come back into California and invest what you really want. Sometimes less is more.
Yeah. So Denise, what you just described sounds like a real plan. Mm-hmm. The problem is people don't want to do that. I need it today. Like you just described a planning process, a thought process. See, we want this instant, I gotta have it now, because the internet is telling you it's easy. And just know, y'all, building wealth is slow and boring and is really quiet. Real wealth, it moves so differently. Just remember that people who really have it going on, they're not the flashiest unless they're in entertainment. You don't see them really talking a lot. They just stay in their spot. You talked about getting second jobs. Yeah, I always am a fan of working harder, but we also got to work smarter because we don't have but so much time in the day. So if you can work to build up something that can provide the passive income, because everybody wants the passive income, but doesn't understand that you got to put some active stuff behind that. You got to work at building it so it can provide the passive income. So we got to do a little bit of work, and I don't want to sugarcoat that. It's going to be harder for others to understand that it's not just you're going to snap your fingers and figure it out, but it's a process that you were just describing so eloquently, where it's like, think about all those possibilities. Mm-hmm. And then once you've had some time to think, make a decision.
And it's not one size fits all. Like everybody has their own journey and how they got there. And it could be something, a simple dream. Maybe it's not a big mansion in the hills, but it might just be just having a nice place that you call home, and that your bills are paid on time, and that your credit is building up great. All these things that you want to have so you can acquire more. For some of our young people and people who are watching today, they might feel that just talking about money is overwhelming. My family never had money. They always were struggling. It was always a violent conversation and a result of many different arguments for some people. I've experienced it myself with people who I care about and love, but it's still a conversation that must be had. The hard thing is trying to help people to control their spending. That's key. We want things like you said now. We want to look good. We want to feel good. We want to be in the moment, so to speak. You only live once kind of attitude. Yep. But what if you're building this wealth for yourself and it can't be passed down? It can't be given to somebody if something, God forbid, was to happen to you. We have so many different conversations about what steps you could take to protect yourself that can be part of the money that you spend, that can actually be increments that protect you and your family and your loved ones, so that you won't, God forbid, leave them destitute, in need. And we're talking about life insurance and the proper insurances you need to protect yourself. We have specialists who are part of our NCRF family, much like yourself, who have professional insight and knowledge on life insurance and stuff like that. And I know these are broad conversations, but as a people, we don't necessarily want to deal with the subject of death because we're constantly having that in our face, in our community, in the media. But if you can live it up, party it up, have some fun, you can definitely talk about putting some things in place so that just, God forbid, something happens to you.
You can. And Denise, here's the question I started asking people. I always say, life insurance is a touchy subject. We don't want to talk about death. It's guaranteed to happen. But think about a family experience where somebody passed away and the family had to do the fish fry. The church was selling t-shirts. Like, it's always like the community's got to come together. There's all the crowdfunding sites. And it's almost like becoming this, somebody else is going to take care of my family when I'm gone. but it's like they can't sell enough fish plates or sell enough shirts, or that crowdfunding, it's not going to provide enough. And literally, if we just had some term insurance, it's affordable everywhere. And when I present it to people, they're like, but I don't understand why I need it. Look, if you've ever been in that situation as a family, and young kids have watched this, somebody passed away, now you see mom and dad are stressed. And they're stressed because maybe they are having to cover bills that auntie, that grandma, that pop, there's somebody in the family that has to step up. And sometimes the family just say, you ain't got the money. So now you're dealing with all these issues that could have been avoided with a little bit of insurance.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. I hear you. I hear the sirens in the background. It's okay. Mm-hmm. It's very important that we have real talk conversations like this and not be afraid in the community. And when we say the community, we say people who normally don't have these conversations around the dinner table. That can be the community. If you grow up in a household where they don't talk about business and owning your own business, and they don't talk about home ownership in the right way, they don't talk about investing, then this is the community that you want to be a part of. You want to be a part of communities that are doing those things. And we're trying to change the money mindset of our attendees of our expos, the watchers of our programming here at NCRF TV. That's part of our pillars. Financial integrity and literacy is part of our pillars. And nobody's perfect. I'm still growing and learning. I got stuff I got to take care of that it just is overwhelming half the time. If you own a business, it's overwhelming all the time. My point is that you still can have good, healthy conversation. Jay-Z couldn't crack $1 billion if he didn't have the conversation. The people who are doing the things that you love and admire and taking those selfies and showing the aftermath, there was a process of building wealth, letting go of old mentality thinking, running with people that may not look like the same, as you, so to speak, or talk the same type of language as you, and finding yourself investing in your knowledge first, and then it came into building your wealth. How important is it to find your people so that you can start to have those real talk conversations? What would you say to that?
It is super important to surround yourself with these people that you're talking about. We got to keep leveling up. And in our communities and underserved communities throughout this country, or even the world, just wherever, if in your group that you're never talking about business or money, chances are, like, I know about where y'all are financially, because it's not that we talk business all the time in my circles. It's just we talk about it enough to be moving forward. So we can talk about the game and entertainment and all the stuff on the socials, and then say, oh, by the way, did you invest in that thing you were telling? Like, it's such a casual conversation. But when you've never been around a group of people who do it, you don't believe it. So it's almost like every person has got to say, will I be the person in my family to break the cycle? So when I talk about disrupting generational poverty through all the work that I do through the Build Wealth Movement, which is my initiative, it's about disrupting this way of thought. It's disrupting these emotions, because until we break those two, I don't care how great the presentation is, how great the products are, how great they look on the socials. It's not going to sink in until you change the way you think and feel about money. And if your family isn't talking, I suggest you be the person to start talking. They're not going to like you. They're going to say, we don't talk about this. And that is a sign that you need to talk about it. Let me say this too. It's like your health. I think people who avoid the health conversation, they end up dying early. Heart attack, stroke. It's always something that says, have we just talked about your health condition? Because you won't live in the best life. We saw you not eating right. You're not drinking water. You don't rest. So it's going to end in disaster. But it's like we got to keep seeing people die early to say, oh, now I'm going to eat right. No, let's just adopt a slightly better lifestyle.
And it's so much easier to do that now, right?
Yes.
There's so many more people who are doing that we look up to, that were never in the limelight, talking about health and wealth at the same time. Most of the time, it was talking about wealth and gluttony, and living it up and partying up. But you can't do that forever and keep your wealth. You'll have people hanging on, and then when you don't got the money no more, they fall into the wayside talking about, I don't know you, I don't know nothing about you. How important it is for us to stay out of the flash in order to get the cash. I know one of my favorite subjects when I talk to anybody who has money, I ain't got no money. They do have money. They just don't want to share it with too many people. And, some of our great, poets, hip hop artists, they speak about, how they spend money on the flashy way. And then there's poets and artists who speak about it in a way where, I don't spend my money because those other people over there don't. I'm quoting something from YG. I won't say the exact quote, but there's so many people who actually have a different mindset about money now because they see it helping not just themselves, but building legacy money, opportunities for everybody to come up and eat. And it's just a simple dream, being able to go to the school that you want, live in the neighborhood that you want, be safe, wear, the things that you love, drive the car that you love, maybe not flashy, but just feel comfortable enough to, have a different aspect of life, travel the world outside your own neighborhood. Sometimes your neighborhood hinders you from seeing true wealth.
Oh, yeah.
Go shopping in a different neighborhood. What would that feel like? Try it. You don't have to, people would say, Whole Foods, whole paycheck. I said, it depends where you shop, what you buy there. If you're buying all the name brand stuff, yeah, there goes your whole paycheck. But if you're buying their 365 brand and their fresh fruits and vegetables, and here on there, you splurge on a vitamin or two, and you're getting high quality stuff, you're actually investing in yourself. I don't think that's, change your mindset about it. Talk to people who actually have that mindset, not that flashiness, but that mindset.
Yeah. But again, Denise, who's the example, right? Who's the example we can put our hands at? That's my only concern is, we know these things to be true, but when I talk to like youth groups and younger professionals, they're like, I'm the first one in my family to do like high school, college, get the good paying job. And it's like that your family's watching you. So then there's that pressure, and then it starts to just eat them up. And I'm like, until you gotta unpack some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because once you do, you can say, look, y'all, I can't keep paying your bills because I'm barely staying above water. And I see that all the time. Oh, man, I got so many, and I'll say it's the big heart person who can't say no to anybody in their family, and they're not saving enough, they're not investing enough. They're like, I'm covering my parents' bills, I'm caring for it. It's always somebody else who is at the top of their list. And I'm like, I need you to slide yourself up a little bit higher, get yourself together, because how you gonna win if you ain't right within?
I like that. A lot of our young people who come to be a part of our organization, this is a wonderful opportunity. You're exposed to so much empowerment, uplifting. We have a wonderful fearless leader and leadership team that actually, is in the trenches, and we're here in Miami doing the work, building up another community of people who look like us and maybe never been exposed to the ideas. And it's an honor to meet people in different communities and neighborhoods. It's an honor to work for an organization that's doing the work in a grassroots level. And sometimes when you have conversations with your own peers, sometimes you can see that they're doing well now, better, and their family life is still struggling because their family, like you said, is still eating off of their plate. And I'm learning from that. I mean, I have a big heart. You spoke to me just right now. I want to help. I want to do. I want to serve. And I got to sit down and say, no, I got to put my face mask on first. I got to make sure that my family, my immediate family, my husband, my spouse, and my son are taken care of first before I give to others. Me personally is taking care first before I give to them. It all trickles down to where the root is. I want to not spend so much time overwhelming myself.
Yep.
I started this year saying, what's my standard? I heard this from a wealth management person. He said in 2023, everybody has goals and what do you call them? You know, New Year's resolutions and
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yep.
But those can change. But what doesn't change is a standard, like your morals, like something that's so high up on the food chain that,
Yeah.
you know, I know what works for my skin. I know what works for my hair. I know that's a standard. You're like, okay, I can't put that in my hair. I can't put that. I can't do that because that's going to hurt me.
Yeah.
So I started to say to myself and to others who I knew, what is your standard? What are you going to say to yourself that you are not going to change? And I heard various things that based on what they needed to say.
Yeah.
And for me, it was not getting so overwhelmed that I just say, that's it. I am done. I had it. You know, I need to take a pause, mental health pause. We had a conversation last week about that. Mental health matters, and really reinvest in myself, whatever that looks like. And the
Yeah.
first conversation for me is always, how can I set more aside for building wealth and not just put it in my savings?
Yeah.
Because that doesn't really build wealth. It helps for emergencies, but it doesn't.
That's it. Yep. Yep.
But putting it in some place that actually can generate some opportunities for me in the future, even if it's small, it's a start.
Yeah.
It's a start.
I want to say too on the same line is, and this is a question I started asking people with some of the talks I've done recently. Are you willing to allow someone to help you? That's the question. Yeah, there are plenty of apps you can do things on your own, but your app ain't gonna talk to you like we talking right now. So as great as technology is, I use that as a compliment to what I do. So I never deter people from like doing things on their own. But if you're not getting the results you want, I would highly recommend you seek out a professional, only if you're willing to allow someone to help. And so when you talk about standards, I have a standard of asking for help. As soon as I run into a wall, I'm not thinking about how to bust through it. I'm like, who gonna help me get over this wall? I'm talented, I'm gifted, I can do all these things on my own, but we have got to let this pride and ego go. Like, I don't care how smart you are, what your title says, how much you earn. Everybody needs some help at some point or has gotten some help to get to wherever they are today. So the same thing with your money. Are you willing to allow someone to help you? And if you say, I don't know, I wish you the best. I wish you the best. I can't make the decision for you. And so even for the young folks who may see this, it's okay to have an opinion. You know, there are people who are afraid to kind of share. No, this is when you got to open up, because this is for you. I got a plan. You got a plan. Like, I need you to have some type of plan. It's never going to be perfect. It's always going to be a work in progress until we all go off to glory. But we have got to have a plan and keep working it. And the plan needs to be updated at the rate you update apps on your phone. When that app says you need to update, you be like, bam, I need to get on this app. You don't even think twice. You got to get that update so you can keep using that app. Your money game, your financial plan, your build wealth plan needs to also be updated regularly. You can't go a whole year and not at least take a look, a little peek, a little, like, please just take a look. Y'all out here clowning like, oh, it's been years. I'm like, yo, you wilding. Because if I'm wealthy, I need to be taking a look, or I got my team around me to keep me informed about when I need to look. So if you out here doing your thing, getting busy, making money, being happy, working in your passion, then you build your team and just check in.
That conversation, that I love that. I love that. Check it, update your money talk just as much as you update your apps, update your knowledge in that. Oh, I love that. That's cool. So every time I have to update my app, I'm gonna make sure I'm updating even more so, because those updates come every 2 months almost.
Right, because software isn't perfect, and neither is your plan is perfect for today. Tomorrow something happens, your whole plan, and it's, you don't have to like think, when does it happen? Life changing, lost a job, got a job, going back to school, moving, had a kid. You know, when you attend a funeral, you just, maybe it's something that triggers you. I don't want them to always be so, we got to be so reactive, because usually it's bad stuff happens and then we want to act right.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem with yeah, that's it. You hit it on the head. You react as opposed to proact. You're not proactive. You're reacting. You know, you're not getting ahead of it. Ooh, those conversations, you know, and when you know you're wrong and you know what you did is out of reaction, it's okay to say I messed up, or you know, this is a learning. It's a learning. Own it. Yeah, own it so that you can learn from it and move forward. Because again, we're having conversations as if you haven't traveled this height. You haven't been in these areas. You haven't talked these talks amongst these people. So you're gonna bump your head. It's gonna look a little crazy. It's gonna be like, woo. I always give this analogy when I'm giving my public speaking events. I use this analogy a lot, and it came off after my mother passed away. It was like, I'm walking in this beautiful rainforest, and I get to this mountain, and it's, you know, I'm enjoying it, and I could just feel I gotta climb. I just start climb. First, I was climbing out of reaction because I felt something was chasing me, you know, like that animal or something. Something was trying to hunt me down. I'm climbing, and then you don't even realize how high you're climbing until you get to the point where, like, wait a minute, I haven't checked in with myself and saw how high I was climbing yet. I just kept going, and all of a sudden, I can't see the bottom. And then I can't see the top because there's a cool mist above my head, because that's how high I climbed. You understand what I'm talking about? You ever seen those pictures of perseverance and challenge? You know, in the doctor's office, you seen those pictures, and it's a cliff climber. You know, they're climbing up, and there's a picture of them climbing. You can't see above, and you can't see beneath. And I'd say that's, you know, to say it's kind of like the Creator, or God, or, you know, what I believe in. You know, that's what I believe. Saying to me, I'm not going to show you how high you have to go, because you won't
do it.
You won't climb anymore. And I won't show you below, because if you see it, you might freak out and just get stuck. Like, oh my God. And you just shake it, like, can't move.
But Denise,
see what you're going to see.
But that's human nature, right? So it's like, I don't want to scare you, but I need to make sure you're hungry enough to keep going to make progress. Like, this is human behavior. It's why I'm obsessed with behavioral finance, because it's more of how we think and feel. It's not the numbers. The stock market's going to do what it does. The real estate market will do what it does. It is how we process this stuff. And some of us just can't handle that. Man, I'm not making enough, but will you work hard? I got a handful of clients who always say, I wish I earned more. And I say, what are you willing to do to earn it? You're going to rob, you're going to steal, you're going to start a business, you're going to ask your family, is somebody going to die and give me a life insurance proceeds? Like, what are you going to do to earn it? And then people say, well, why are you being so pushy? I'm like, but they said they want more. I'm trying to figure out what they're willing to do. I think we're all capable of doing more than we believe, but some of us can't be that direct. So sometimes I got to, like, let me go all the way around to getting to the point where I know they need to be, but I got to take a different approach. So I try, when I'm engaging with people, I literally do less talking in a discovery meeting. I just sit there and listen, like, what you trying to do? How can I help? Like, my pitch is at the very beginning, and it takes less than 2 minutes. Here's what I can do. Here's how I can help. But why are we here today? Tell me where it hurts. And I just sit here and take notes. Because some people need that direct, tell me what to do, Jasper. Versus others, you know what, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to go do some of my own research. I'm going to holler back at you. Okay, I'll take whatever you want. But if I hit you up in 6 months and you've made no progress, I don't think it's on me.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
This conversation is healthy. We're going to be having this conversation monthly. It's part of our pillars. The health and wellness aspect is not just mental health. It's also our financial health. And what would you like to say to leave to our audience about, the importance of, ways to get and keep your money? Like, what do you want to leave our audience with? Because we're at a close.
Yeah, I just want you to think about building your money team. And I preach that to everybody.
What does that mean? Yeah, what does it mean?
That means you need a team of professionals, not the people who are fly-by-nighters. I need a professional group of people surrounding you. So when you have that rough moment, you're trying to figure out a financial move you're about to make, I need you to tap in with your team. Because left to your own, I'm not saying you won't make the right decision, but it's better if you can air out some of those issues with a group of people who are professionals who do it day in and day out. You won't have the entire team. And I can talk more about that later. Just get a couple of good people to help you to make better financial decisions. If you have nobody, your challenge is to at least find one other person.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, keyword is professional. So professional means they're knowledgeable about what is out there, what's possible, what's capable. You might have to pay for their services. That's an investment in yourself. You might have to do a little bit more research. If you're going to college, young people, start there. Use your classes as part of your education. Take financial classes, take business classes, learn about economics, the stock market, ask your professors, join some clubs on campus. That's a great way to build wealth. Just by the institutions that you're already attending, and read books, read autobiographies. People love reading Think and Grow Rich. People love reading books about, how the greats, I love watching how America built their wealth with all the American, Rockefellers and the Disneys and the Carnegies, and learning about them. They came from a different era of industrial revolution. This is the digital revolution. And understand what you are putting on your phone and your tablets is a safety issue when you can't see the money that you're doing all these digital transactions. Check your accounts constantly. And don't open those emails that think that it's, you won, or it's Verizon trying to reach out to you. Call them first before you start opening, because people snake information. Be very careful, because it's real. It's a different beast out there. Our young people have a lot more to worry about than their grandparents, I would say.
True. Very
their
true.
Grandparents, their great grandparents, because their grandparents are still worrying about those issues too, because they're still alive, some of them. But I want to leave with you guys. This has been awesome talk. This is going to be a continued conversation. We'll make sure we'll have Mr. What hashtag? What's the hashtag? Where the hashtag at?
No. It's just it's just Mr. Bill Wealth. The hashtag is silent.
I like it.
Mr. Bill Wealth.
People nowadays want to be different. The hashtag is in your name, like you have to say it. Okay. And how can they reach you again? I put your website up here.
Yeah, the BillWealthMovement.com. A lot of great resources. Just check me out. Like I don't sugarcoat what I can and can't do for people, but I have quite a few articles and blogs around like how I see how financial planning should be. And I pick out certain topics because I think these are all like foundational things that people need to really internalize. Because when we build the foundation, we can go so much further. So the BillWealthMovement.com, if I can be of service, just let me know. But I'm going to keep doing what I can to, disrupt generational poverty with all my efforts every single day. That's all I think about.
Well, you have disrupted with just meeting you at our presentation that we had this past Saturday in Oakland. You were brought to us by one of our banking partners, Comerica, who sat on our panel, and they support you in your efforts, which is huge. So if one of our partners supports you, we definitely want to highlight our community leaders who are doing the work. Our community, we're trying to recycle these dollars here. We're trying to do that. We're trying to build our wealth back again. We're trying to change the issues that are in our community, break down those curses. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Mrs. Denise Parker, and this is Elevate Your Game. Real talk, get and keep your money. Next week, we're going to have a wonderful conversation. I want to surprise you because I want to make sure that you guys keep staying tuned. Each week, we try to do something new. If we have to take a break, it's because it's important. We have to take some breaks sometime. Thank you, Jasper, for joining us. And again, I'll see you guys soon.